I swear to God. Um, Hello everybody. Welcome to the Duet Ninja Live or Duet Ninja Dojo Live. Um, Reloaded because I thought my audio was off key, and so I tried to mess with it, and it said no, and didn't like it. So anyway, um, I want to share something with you guys. Just some knowledge I came across. Yesterday, Saturday, March 29th, um, I had a client actually back close from where I grew up. And it was a ROTC. I think it's called a gala or gala, or however they want to call it. It was a ROTC, um, and there was a war ceremony, and there was a couple of individuals representing two organizations. One organization was um, I believe the Daughters of the American Colonization, or American Colonists, and the other was the Daughters of the Revolutionary War. Each of these individuals were women, um, and one was in a wheelchair, actually, a mobile chair, and the other lady was standing presenting. Um, but the individual from the Daughters of the American Colonists, um, she was prompted for some reason to give a kind of like a pep talk, and her pep talk basically was telling kids, was telling the cadets and whatnot, um, to be in the moment, and when you see something wrong, you need to act on it. And I thought that was very interesting, considering the group that she that she represents. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit more in just a second. Hey Shane, good to see you, man. I'll talk about that in just a second. But she gave an example of a situation that she actually experienced, um, and the situation that she experienced, the situation that she talked about, it seemed to me that she was trying to give a little subliminal message. So the situation was, she was in college, and she was hanging out outside, kind of like a courtyard area between the buildings. Um, and she heard a lady screaming, "Help! Help!" And apparently, um, now I'm assuming this is true. Apparently, there was a guy reaching into a vehicle, the window, driver's side of the vehicle, trying to pull this woman out of her car, and she didn't hesitate. The lady telling the story, she didn't hesitate. She took off running. She said, "I was coming at him like a linebacker, like an NFL linebacker. I was," and she said she ran into the guy. Saying, and you know, she intervened. The point being, if you see something wrong, act on it. Um, and then I thought it was commendable. Kind of hypocritical, but commendable. And the other lady didn't say anything, no. But those two entities is interesting, because if you go to their websites, and look at their history and what they're about, stuff like that, they talk about preserving the history of America, preserving, um, you know, how America was created, how it began, and things of that nature. But they do it ever so carefully, and it's the tone deafness, because some of those kids, it was a very diverse group. So I just don't think they're thinking about the future of their organizations, um, especially knowing how young people are when it comes to researching now. Like they'll dig quickly. And now artificial intelligence is coming about. I mean, you could type in chat GPT, the foundation of colonial America, the foundation of Western society. I mean, all of that stuff is it's going to come up. It's going to come up. And these people, these kids, especially young people, going to look at these people like, seriously, seriously. I mean, it's the information that they're putting out there is crazy. And this is coming on obviously on the heels of Trump trying to well, actually, I think he's getting rid of the Smithsonian Institute. He's dismantling Department of Education. It's, there's some things on on the horizon, folks, that I don't think I don't think we're going to come back from, and that might be a good thing. But yeah, so of course you guys have heard about what's going on in Gaza. Um, I don't know if YouTube's going to yank this video or not if I start talking about that, but I won't talk about it anyway. I doubt it because there's tons of information on that. And there's a chance. Well, we already have a base in Israel. If you didn't know this, we already have a military base in Israel. Well, we've been conducting, sure, well, we've been giving air support to Israel for years. That's why it's important for us to have access to the Gulf and and the Mediterranean, things of that nature. But yeah, it's yeah, yeah. We're gonna have additional boots on the ground in Gaza pretty soon. I'm afraid if they're not there already. Um, and it's looking pretty damn sure that we're gonna have some boots on the ground in Yemen. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot of conflict in terms of pirates and things of that nature in that region too. So it can what I'm talking about is building up a case to send to Congress, which is obviously ran by Republicans, and say, "Hey, we need to go to war with these people. It's a national security threat because it's dealing with our shipping and things." Da, 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 da. And of course, was it Blackwater, I believe, bought out or a group associated with investors associated with that group bought out the Panama Canal. Um, it's it seems like that our government's trying to well the Trump government it's not our government anymore. It seems like Trump's government is trying to ensure that we continue to have goods and services shipped into this country and exclude Canada. And I guess we're really hampered down on. And I'm just thinking about from a regional standpoint how they're moving the pieces, and really put the heat on Iran. If we're conducting, I mean seriously, I don't. It disgusts me what we're doing, what our government's doing to help Israel in this situation. It's disgusting, and it all ties together. The lady from the story I told you about, her association with that group. And normally these people can trace their lineage back to these individuals. Um, I mean, well, the early 1600s, I believe is what their website said. It it all ties together. Lack of information is going to lead to a lack of action because you have a lack of understanding, and all that put together in a handbasket and held and carried by evil individuals is going to have evil results. What is going on in Gaza is pure evil. Pure evil. I'm not quite sure how you can demonize people to the point where you don't see them as people. being aware of something doesn't necessarily mean you understand it. And this understanding is hard for me. I don't see how. I mean, you create a facade in order to engage in vengeance, and people who are not even skilled enough to fight back. And I'm talking about equipment. I'm talking about, you know, yeah, they sure will, Shane. Yeah, they gonna remove context from a lot of stuff, and it's just gonna. It's so frustrating, man. It truly is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They guaranteed to act with emotion. If yeah, yeah. I don't know why I'm stuck on this, but it just irks me. Well, yeah, I know why I'm stuck on it because it can be prevented. There's nothing worse than being in a situation that you know is wrong and you can't do something about it directly. I'm talking about directly. I can't push a button and end this shit. And I'm not quite sure how invested Iran is going to be. I'll tell you what, man. The last thing Israel and the United States wants to do is to create a situation where that region of the world unites and fights back. They do not want the Arab nations. They don't want what used to be Persia and all that. They don't want Iraq, Iran, all that to come together and back Palestine. I mean, yeah, Palestine. I was going to say Pakistan, Palestine. That's one thing Israel does not want, because I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these European countries are going to be they're going to step back and be like, oh well. And I really think this is where we're headed, man. Yeah, you can deport people. You can uh, kind of stereotype individuals and try to ship them out of the country and all this other stuff. But you can't catch everything, especially if somebody is well funded. You can't catch everything, buddy. You can't. I mentioned on TikTok about the meeting that my wife had. Well, she was in a meeting, um, and there was intel from the top telling people that, hey, you'll see extra security around the hospital because there's an ISIS threat. And that was national. I mean, if there was a situation where there was a terrorist acts in hospitals, um, the chain reaction to that's going to be it's going to be curious, especially if it's in the Washington D.C. area, New York, especially New York. New York is basically a damn FOB. This the state of New York City is basically a forward operating base. The wealthiest people in the world. That's why the wealthiest people in the world can afford to live in New York. If you don't know how hard it is to live in New York financially, I don't know what to tell you. It's it's extremely expensive, and it's like that for a reason. Coastal properties, right? You have people, living near these bodies of water, lakes, and things of that nature. Two, three, four, $5, $6 million homes. It's a reason for that. If you buy up all the resources, ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to fight back. It's hard to fight back, and we're giving these people everything: our time, our sweat equity, fresh water. Give these people everything. There's going to be a plan of action, and I don't think people need to be talking about a plan of action on social media. It's far too dangerous to be doing that shit now in detail. But there has to be a plan of action on a number of platforms. Numbers, there has to be something. People can't just communicate online and just you have to be doing something effectively where you are. Getting ideas and information from other people is great. That's one thing we can do is share ideas, but in order to implement something, you have to attach yourself to something physically. This is why these individuals who have punched the United States of America in the gut. This is why they were effective. People were coming to them physically to get some type of information, to get some type of motivation, not necessarily physical resources. It's hard to train. It's hard to train for a fight by yourself. Now, if you know anything about boxing, MMA, any of that stuff, you never train by yourself for a fight. You spar, you have coaching, trainers. Nowadays you have a videography team. You never train by yourself. You want to talk about SFG, Special Forces Group. It's always a buddy system. Always. From snipers all the way down. Always. It's always a buddy system. You never train for a fight by yourself. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I'm really fearful for the younger people. So kids in ninth grade right now, ninth, 10th grade. I'm really fearful. I'm afraid they're gonna come out of high school and have no choice but to be thrown into the fray. If they implement a draft, man, people not even talking about that shit. Yeah, shadow boxing is useless, bro. It really is. Yeah, the signal. Can't use WhatsApp. None of that shit. Hey, you be better off writing a letter. you, you be better off writing a letter. For real. You can't even use Morse code, man, unless you have your own code system, and that takes time. It's yeah, anything electronic, you're really, oh yeah, Enigma code. Yeah, yeah. But anything digital, it can get snatched up. Israelis. I forget the name of that spyware that they have now, but it's supposed to be really, really just damaging. If you think the CIA doesn't have that shit, you're crazy. Um, but yeah, I really feel I'm not hopeful for this next group of generation coming out of high school. It has got, oh my gosh. And Trump wants to take over Greenland, and who does that? Oh yeah. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Duet Ninja. Got my man Shane here. Welcome to the dojo. I had to start my live over because I got paranoid about my microphone, and actually the microphone was freaking fine. but you cut off the audio. Well, you cut off your microphone source, and you try to reinstitute it while you're still live. It won't work. So rule of thumb here. Don't screw with your gear once you get going live. You're welcome. Yeah, man. I know, right? God damn. Come on, man. Come on, man. um, so I mean, I'm not quite sure how many of you guys are going to understand what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to say it anyway. Um, yeah, I do, Shane. You're right. I got to trust my tech. I do. But yeah, this is about one want to speak on right here. This topic is about um women and dealing with people that you quote unquote trust. Now, I'm not quite sure how many of you folks who's watching this know about the Villains Guild. Um, but it's a collection. It's a loose collection of individuals um, that try to, I guess, rein in, false information, rein in racism and sexism and all this other stuff. And apparently, there were a couple members of this group that the women can't trust. Um, one from a I'm assuming I'm not I don't know the absolute details. I just know that there are individuals that are a problem. One individual announced himself that, yeah, I'm a problem. Um, and then another individual came to his defense and kind of revealed what he's about. And there are women within this group uh, that absolutely were blown away by, because you guys are supposed to be a part of a collective, and they're just blown away. Like, what? Why are you defending this guy? And I mean, he was coming at people like, what? So, women, ladies, if you follow me on TikTok, you know how I feel about this shit. But I'm gonna say it any fucking way. Sorry, YouTube. I throw out vulgarity. It happens. Yeah, he was. I mean, yeah, he was literally telling people not to defend me. I have problems. I have issues. But ladies, you you have got to be careful. I mean, I know you know this already, but I don't think you hear it from men quite enough. You need to be careful, because I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Guys who don't do shit like this, they normally don't fuck with other dudes. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't fuck with dudes. In real life, I mean, unless it's a business transaction or I'm trying to get something done, I don't hang out with guys for that this very fucking reason. I don't me I sit and have a beer with somebody. Yeah, okay, but I don't trust dudes like that. because I mean it's different when you hang around a bunch of dudes. But when you introduce a female into into the scenario, it, I don't trust dudes with females. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly being skeptical about a situation. If I'm at a DJ gig and I'm being mad skeptical about shit. You know, it's just mm. Oh well. Thanks for the heads up, Shane. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guys who are really comfortable being around a bunch of other dudes all the time, I'm really gonna question their motives. I am. I ain't talking about them being, homosexual or anything like that, which I don't give a fuck. You show love, you show love. You don't, you don't. But I mean, from a standpoint of just being around women. Normally, guys who aren't comfortable being around women, they rather hang with dudes. They'll have stereotypical views towards women because they rather hang with dudes because they're not comfortable around women. Um, and not all women are the same, but that's the point. Not all women are the same. That's the fucking point. If you're too busy hanging out with dudes, because dudes aren't that complex. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Dudes aren't that. They're not that complex. We're wired not to be complex. So complexity from a man is somewhat trained. It's innate. It is. It's rare though. It's almost like it's beaten out of you by society. But hmm, ladies, you gotta be yeah, you gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. Women hang around with a bunch of other women if that's what you like to do. And I know there's some women that can't stand being around women either. That's the point, right? Um, yeah, just be careful, man. Just be careful, especially online situations. Now, I will say this. Funny enough, a lot of now I can't give you a longitudinal understanding of the situation, but lately, I will say over the past 3 years, a large majority of my wedding clients met online, believe it or not. Gone are the days where people meet in high school and, you know, well, I can't say gone. It's rare. Um, but yeah, I mean, be careful. Be careful. We're gonna need you. We already do. We're gonna need you when shit hits the fan because it might be short, but it's gonna be extremely destructive. And somebody's going to attack Israel. I'm afraid somebody's going to try a direct. It, BRICS, the BRICS situation. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's only going to grow, especially with Trump in office. It's only going to grow. And let me be very clear about something, ladies and gentlemen. If Canada and Mexico join BRICS and isolate us from the rest of the world, just realize a lot of Americans do not have the funds or the means to leave their location. They can't get outside of a 10-mile radius from their location. They don't have the money, they don't have the resources. If Canada and Mexico join BRICS, you got China and Russia a part of that mix. And China's the global economic juggernaut right now. They're helping sub-Saharan Africa get their infrastructure together on a grand scale. Notice I didn't say a country, I said a region. We don't have the means to refine materials. We ship out raw materials, primarily weapons. So where do you think the money's going to come from? You know? Hmm. Yeah, it used to be rare to meet someone on the Shane types. It used to be rare to meet someone on the internet, but we are all online now. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. And notice the ads, the amount of ads we get now is a lot greater than it was 15 years ago. I mean, it just it's constant. TikTok didn't have ads like that when it first came up. It's crazy. But yeah, if Trump doesn't utterly destroy the Constitution of the United States, he definitely will destroy relationships amongst the world outside of the U.S., especially if the U.S. keeps on being Israel's bitch. Realness. The United States hasn't had a backbone since the 90s. That shit that popped off of 9/11, all the other shit. That's not a backbone. That's a reaction. It's different. Having a backbone in America means you're not gonna let the fucking oligarchs take over your fucking country. And we did that shit. It started during Reconstruction, post Reconstruction. It started there. But man, Israel has this country by the balls, and I want to know why. Why is that? Why are we so? Why is it? Excuse me. Why is this government so afraid to deal with Israel? I don't. Why is that? Do they have that much? Do they have that many tentacles involved in our intelligence agencies? Because if the United States government was hell bent on being comfortable with the NSA, CIA, things of that nature, and all these intel bodies that attach to the United States government, if they were really comfortable with these entities, I don't think they would be scared of Israel. This government is scared of Israel, and it's not just Trump. This government, period, top to bottom. Is it wealth? Is it money being thrown in their face? Maybe somebody guaranteed them some coastal property in Gaza. Is that what it is? It's got to be the money, man. Yeah, it's got to be the money, Shane. Are they so worried about money or so appealed to wealth because they see the shit storm coming? Yeah, let me get my money together because I needed to prepare myself. I wonder if that's what it is. Mm. Yeah, that's a damn shame. And I really wish, if you're watching this video, thank you for watching. By the way, welcome to the dojo. Um, I really wish people would go and look at what was known as the Holy Land, it wasn't called Israel. I really wish people would go and look at what that looked like during the 1930s, prior to World War II. Get an idea what that looked like. Beautiful area, beautiful. Syria is actually. a beautiful area. Lebanon. Mm. Hell, Tehran used to be this epicenter of culture and things of that nature. People used to travel there, dude. People used to travel to Iran and go vacation. And here we are, about to put a hole in the planet that will never recover. It's obvious as hell to me that Christian conservatives are behind this shit because they want this rapture to happen so bad because their belief system is so strong. When in all actuality, what they're doing is pitting themselves into a situation where this whole planet's going to turn on them and eliminate them. That's how the universe operates. When a virus attacks a body, certain cells come together and attack the virus. They understand it, so they can dismantle it. This is why people have vaccines. Vaccines don't provide a cure. It provides a blueprint for your body to utilize to destroy a virus. This is what's happening. This is why the information age is so important. This is why people are trying to disrupt information. This is why people are trying to utilize AI, as Shane mentioned. They're trying to utilize AI to not only influence what you buy, but influence what you think. This is why I'm telling people you better get very, very used to what AI looks like, sounds like, and how to utilize it. You better, because this mind game is on some other shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still gonna have to wrap up at 10:30 because I got things scheduled out. I'm sorry I gave you guys a short session today. Um, yep, Shane. Exactly, exactly. In Iran, women can wear what the hell they want to. It was like well, it's still like that in Palestine, but Iran, what it wasn't ultra conservative like that. It wasn't. It's weird. Well, no, it's not because this is what this is what the West put in place. All those all those coups and these military uprisings and constantly just keeping countries destabilized so they and then the people kind of shift over to yeah this nationalist ideology supported by overzealous attachments to religion. It's easy to manipulate people. That's what people don't understand. It's easy to manipulate people if you know how to do it, especially if you're using religion. It is so easy. I can walk into rural America looking like this. I can walk out there and throw on that Appalachian demeanor of mine because that's where I grew up. Talk and start talking about Bible verses, boy. And hey, it's easy to manipulate people. And now you got AI, and it's it's real easy. Jesus Christ. Shane said it's a death cult. It is. It is. And that's exactly what's coming. That's exactly what's coming. I don't know. Shane, I've got to tell you this. I was starting to I know some people in this country say they want to stick around and fight and all the other shit. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. It's a very big country, and people are probably going to have simultaneous attacks. It's going to be hard to know where your enemy is. You know, I have people I can rely on, but I don't know the people that they know. You know what I mean? But the reason I mentioned that, Shane, my wife and I, we were we were starting to look around like, yo, where can we go? And by God, if I didn't look to Southwest Australia, man, it's expensive down there. I didn't realize expensive Southwest Australia was. But yeah, I was starting looking. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, let's check this out. But yeah, yeah, not going to Europe because if I mean it hasn't been a full year and Russia's already. I mean, I'm afraid Ukraine is screwed. Um, but yeah, but we're not gonna move to Europe. I know some of these people in Hollywood. I think it was a Richard Gere or whatever said he's gonna move to Spain and never come back and all this other shit. I mean, first and foremost, I'm not gonna tell you where I'm gonna move. No, I'm not gonna tell you where I'm gonna move to. I mean, we're looking. I'm not gonna lie, we're looking because I don't know. We're planners. We prep. Well, I'm not. Mm-mm, mm-mm. We have escape routes. We have places that we can go and lay out for a while, depending on what the situation is. But ultimately, if it's bad enough, ultimately we're getting the fuck up out of here. I'll tell you that right now. People don't understand the amount of firepower that's in this country that can be turned on itself. I mean, folks, we got subs off the coast all the time. I mean, and that was back in the '90s. We got subs all over the fucking place. We have obviously we have air bases all over the place. I mean, there's naval apparatuses up and down the Mississippi people don't even know about. There there is there is nothing that's going to survive invading this country. But I'm not quite sure how many people are going to survive if this country turns on itself. And I'm not sticking around to figure that shit out. There's no way in the world I can get Amy out of here, my wife. There's no way I can get her out of here. Because she ain't gonna leave me. We already talked about that shit. We rolling together, period. We got elderly folks. We don't have any kids. You know what I'm saying? If we had children, it'd be completely different. Completely different. You can't fight in a box 6 feet under, or you eviscerated. You can't do that. So, but yeah, hey, Southwest Australia looks good, man. I don't know. She likes hot weather, so she likes warm weather, man. That's another reason we're not going to Europe. Well, I mean, hell, it depends on the whole global warming aspect of things. Probably go somewhere where we can dig a well so we can have fresh water for ourselves. Just saying. Might wind up moving to a village. Just saying. Yes, sir. We'll do. We'll do. We'll do for sure. For sure. I mean, I have 5 smartphones. Don't tell nobody. You never know. You never know. You never know. Water tablets. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we'll probably use those straws. But yeah, yeah, tablets, what things, iodine tablets or something to that effect. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. I think the straws are kind of a little more. They have a filtration system where you can put it on top of a larger device. But yeah, we have things for that. Yeah, yeah. The hardest thing, man, is just fuck. What the hell is going to happen? When is it going to happen? And how large of an event is it going to be? Is there going to be an opportunity to fight and defend? That's what I'm worried about. Tables like where the water is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it depends on where you go. I mean, we've had a well dig before. We dug, excuse me. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, need that. There's a situation you can utilize. I think it's like sticks or something like that. I need to look that up. I did that when I was in Boy Scouts. I mean, you can find water. You can find water, but like you mentioned, having that filtration system to make sure you don't get some type of waterborne disease or something. It would be crucial. Hmm. BS. Oh, for real? Okay. 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 I've seen it used too many times before, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You still have to know the terrain though. No, you can't just walk around with sticks and expect shit to happen. There's a certain element of terrain, and it's normally near where a water source used to be. Uh, the potential is greater. But just walking around with sticks ain't shit. Bro, it's I'm a witness. I'm a witness. Dead ass. Dead ass. But it has to be a particular area, right? Yeah, you don't just walk around out in the desert and do that shit. It has to be a particular environment, particular area. Normally near a where a waterbed used to be, or where a well used to be. It's yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, it has to be a certain area. You don't just walk around with sticks. Like most natural events, there's always a number of variables involved in telling the story. So yeah, you know, you know. Now I'm not willing to do the whole probability thing. Like, hey, maybe it might, bro, because we let's see, 'cause we dug though. I mean, oh gosh, how deep was it? It's about. I mean, it took us a while. It was about 12 feet. It was about 12 feet down, but then the water started coming up in the bottom of the hole. So I mean, you get the right. Well, it tells you that you get the right the right pumping system, because obviously there's it's down there somewhere, but you have to get down deep enough to really make that pressure come up. But yeah, I mean, I've seen it, bro. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, man. I'll see you on the old Tiki Tok Talk. Hey, appreciate you guys watching. Well, thank you, Shane, for watching. I think I screwed people up when I unplugged it and had to knock it off, and yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It happens. It happens. So 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today, which is drums, please. Hmm. We're looking at April 13th. April 13th. We'll be back on here, this bad boy. I'm gonna try to advertise a little bit more, man. Well, not advertise, but talk about this a little bit more. I think there's a lot of conversations that we're missing, especially now. So, hey, thanks for checking out the Duet Ninja Dojo. Appreciate y'all. And I'll see you on tickety top, 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 top. April 13th. Peace. Take it easy, Shane.